Yep.
Yeah.
Testing. Yeah, we're good.
Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rukakadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations to all the Akim out there on the four corners, teaching truth and sincerity. This is Stasha Kwa Amath, here with the brother
Arak, Shalom.
of the GMS Dallas Camp. Coming at you with a quick, quick hit, pro understanding message. Because the times that we're in, they're getting weird. But it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. And we are witnessing, the this kingdom, rush to their own destruction.
Yeah.
All right, because they are doing moves, that are 100% rushed, because they don't have a way to figure out how to make this, this kingdom stand.
I got a precept.
Bible shot.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7.
Oh.
It says, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer."
Yep, and that's what we're doing right now. We are sitting. We're not. On any strong drink. We are watching these prophecies come to pass. All right, you got it.
Yeah. Where did you want to get more? Something else?
You can pull that Second Ezra's chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 6 and 43 or 7 and 43. Bible shot. Because this is everything coming to a head. How about Shemini Shai is about to step in and do a marvelous work. I think it's 7 and 43, or 6 and 43 or 7 and 43. I think it's second measure is 7 and 43. Yeah.
So
Cost what? Yeah. Second Ezra 7 and 43.
Gone. This is 2 Ezra 7 and 43. And it reads, it says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, and temperance is at an end, and fidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and the truth is sprung up."
Because Esau is moving in ways that he doesn't even know what's going on. But how about Shemini Shai is about to set all these things to a head to where this is the end. All right, and that's a joy to see. But you got anything else?
Nope.
All right, so we're gonna go into this new bill, because and this video was put up about 5 days ago. All right, but this new bill that integrates America's military budget with Israel's military budget. And you have to understand, Israeli military budget is like 46 billion. Over the past 3 years, it's been that, every year about 46 billion. But they want the things that Esau over here has, and because their military budget has been about like 806 billion, every year ever since, for the past 3 years. It's been 800 billion every year for the past 3 years. What will Israel do with all that money? They're going to come down on you tribes harder, because they're going to integrate what they do over there. Hell, the cops are already going over there to be trained. All right, military is going over there to be trained on how to handle uh, these riots and shit. And they ain't trained properly because they're doing people over here in the Americas, you so-called Black Latinos, Native Americans, hell, even Esau's people, they're doing them just like they did
Palestinians.
Yeah, the Palestinians, and they're just killing them. So they're trying to get Americans ready for that shit to come over here. But I'm just gonna play the video, and then we're gonna grab a couple precepts and bow out of this, okay? Unless you got something.
Yeah, I was gonna read because in the video they bring up this bill that's in Congress.
Yeah.
That's about to pass. So I was just gonna read the snippet that basically like the definition of that particular part of the bill. So this is and you can look it up. It says National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2027. And then when you jump down, we ain't gonna read that, we ain't gonna get into the weeds necessarily. Yeah. But they have a good point right here. You go to page 9, right? It's in section 224, and that's referenced in the video too.
Yeah.
That we're about to play. It says the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. All right. It says this section would require the Secretary of Defense to designate an executive agent responsible for synchronizing, right, or combining, right, cooperative efforts between the United States and Israel, including bilateral defense technology, right, research, development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial cooperation.
And who's the so-called Secretary of Defense? They changed it from defense to war. So who's the Secretary of War right now that's going to set all this up? Pete Hegseth.
Yep.
So and you shouldn't trust that man, especially he's an Edomite. We already see him for what he is. All right.
Yeah.
You got a precept before?
Yeah. Let me get some real quick. Based off that point.
Never trust him.
This is Revelation chapter 12 and 12, or chapter 12 verse 12.
Yeah.
And it reads, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
So this isn't a time to be in fear. All right, this is a time to be excited, because we are about to get removed from this hellish condition. All right, and be let loose in the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I got that because you made the point basically about Secretary of War. The name being changed from Secretary to Defense.
To Secretary of War.
Right, and really, like you said, this is all aimed. Really, it's all aimed at the tribes. Yeah. Now we know there's a Depop agenda, all right, where they want to remove, billions and billions of people off the earth, right?
7.5 billion people, because it's just like the Georgia Guidestones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna call it spade a spade.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is this is a response to the word being preached.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
This is a response to the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shemel Shah getting stronger in the earth. So Esau feels like he has to go on offensive now. He's been kind of defensive, you know what I'm saying? But now he's about to go on offense.
Yeah. Because the prophets have been out there shaking the hand. All right, and they couldn't do nothing about it because of the paperwork that they set up, which is the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
But now, whenever they go fully, prone on this, they're about to do away with that, so they can come up against the men of the Lord that's been out there signing crime. Mm-hmm. All right, but we can go straight into the video.
All right,
I don't want to dry talk.
Play the sound.
Yeah.
There you go. Even though 6 out of 10 Americans now hold an unfavorable view of Israel, it looks like the House is moving towards toward integrating Israel's military with our own, which would be a disaster. And it seems like the point here is to further conceal the amount of support and military aid the United States provides to Israel to carry out their border expansion project.
Because, and I wanted to speak on that because America offers up what like billions of dollars a year from the American people. All right, so all those taxes that you paying and everything, all that's going over to Israel. Yeah, and it shows you who's in charge. It shows you who's in charge. But I'll let her speak. Like a
Jake, your 2 cents.
Exactly. So we're going to explain in this video here what the integration means. What does it mean to merge the U.S. and Israeli military? I mean, it sounds so absurd when you say it out loud. And that is what they're planning to do now, our deeply disgusting, corrupt government. But secondly, why is this so dangerous? So we'll talk about that as well.
Now, this is a provision in what's referred to as a must-pass bill, right? This is the National Defense Authorization Act. It has to be renewed and passed every single year. And buried deep in the House's latest version of the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act is something known as Section 224, which lays out a complete marriage between the U.S. and Israeli militaries. So as reported in Responsible Statecraft, Section 224 lays the groundwork for bilateral research and development, co-production of weapons, joint ventures, licensing agreements, and seemingly every manner of U.S.-Israeli military-industrial complex cooperation. In fact,
So they're trying to get to a point to where they integrate all systems together with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and whenever they get to that point, then that's going to be in the middle of Jacob's trouble because you're not going to be able to speak. You're not going to be able to make a move. These cameras are going to be up. They're going to implement everything that they're doing all over the world over here in Babylon the Great, okay, which is a big-ass prison anyway.
Yeah, and we can see, the things going on with the supply chain.
Yep.
Famine is approaching, and like famine is going to be the fuel that really, leads to a lot of unrest.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Increased crime rates, right? Things of that nature, right? So, we're in times to where, like scriptures say, you circumspect. You got to be circumspect.
Yep.
Too. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make that point.
Come on, Bakusha, could you pull that Jeremiah 49 and 20?
Yep, I got that right here.
Going into the least of the flock.
Mm-hmm.
Bakusha.
This is Jeremiah 49 and 20. It says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them."
Because with this joint effort, with America and Israel, that's the least of the flock, helping to draw out America because, they got that NATO bill that says if anybody attacks, a member of NATO, all NATO shall attack them.
Mm-hmm.
Loosely paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But if America's tightly knitted with Israel and Israel is attacked, that's like attack on the American people.
Yeah. Can I get this word draw?
Bakusha.
When you get that word draw in the blue letter, it's Strong's H5498, sahab, and then it says to drag. All right. It says a primitive root to trail along, to draw, tear, or to drag.
And that reminds me of like if somebody's rib was out there talking shit to another nigga, and she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna get my husband. I'm gonna get my husband." And she had to go and drag that nigga out the house, and and whenever he get out there, nigga don't even want to fight. You know?
Yeah.
But that's like Israel and America, all right? Because they're going to drag America out for a fight that they're not even ready for, all right?
I got another one, real quick. Just linking up with this, thought. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army." And then it's talking about Babylon the Great's army, military. You know what I mean? So this prophecy, is getting ready to play out on a heavy level, because these people, we've been talking about the draft, right? We've been talking about, particular laws and legislation that Esau's been passing to allow women, right? We're talking about that.
Yeah, because a couple years back, they made it to where your daughters are going to go out and fight for Israel. Mm-hmm. Just like your sons are going to go to war and fight for Israel. But whenever enough of them die, they're going to send your daughters out there. Right? And the American populace didn't even, vote for that. But that shows that your vote doesn't matter. All right? So you come out of that, but Jake be Jake.
Yeah.
You got it.
And I'll finish this last point in Joel 2 and 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate," right? Mm-hmm. Which is talking about the Middle East.
Yeah, the Middle East. The Western Asia.
Right, Western Asia.
Yeah.
Which has basically been a hotbed of war. Like, it's like that whole region's been prepared for war for the last, what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going on decades. It's like been a build up to this moment.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because Iran and Israel has been going back and forth since the inception of that nation.
Right.
Since we got out there.
Right.
Since we were put on, since we was put on the slave ships, it's been some kind of beef. All right. And the people of that land don't even like, these Israelis. And now globally, the world doesn't like these Israelis. Everywhere they go, it's like a stain.
Got you. Let me get one. Let me get one for you. Right? This is Habakkuk chapter 2.
Ooh, okay.
And I want to say it's verse 16. Habakkuk 2 and 16, it says, let me see if I need to start up just a little bit. Because you made that point about basically their reputation been tarnished. This is Habakkuk 2 and 15. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness."
Yep.
And if I may, like when you give somebody drink, right, or you have some people over, eat, that was associated with making deals.
Yep.
Making covenants.
Yep. Having that supper. Yep. You're supping with them.
So like we're going into the bill that Congress is looking at passing. That's law. That's actual decree. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Baked into the cake.
Yeah. We have a marriage.
Yep.
All right. They're trying to make a marriage.
Yeah. That's the word. Yep.
With the United States, to where whatever happens to us, it's figuratively happens to you. Lucy paraphrase.
Right. Yep.
But you got it.
I'll finish this out and I'll get right back to you, bro. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory."
So they're going to see your shame. All right? And Babylon the Great has so much shame because she's a woman that's been touched by so many different nations. She has sores, boils. She's not a comely and delicate woman.
Nope.
So, but let's get back into the video and pull some more precepts.
Report goes on to say that this provision would greatly expand coordination to seemingly every area of defense technology, including AI, quantum, autonomous systems, directed energy, cyber, biotech, and many more. It also proposes network integration and data fusion. In other words, the U.S. military's data could soon be the Israeli military's data.
Can I make a point on that? And then something too that does is, you watch the media, you know the wars, the rumors of wars. These different analysts, right, break down the war. Right, it's understood that the small hats are essentially a proxy of America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's been taken even to a further level than that. You can't even say that it's a proxy war anymore. Now
it's a hot war.
Now Babylon is in direct
conflict,
involvement, and conflict with all these other nations. Now they just took on all the issues of the small hats with this move,
and that's why I liken it to a wife. Okay, because he's gonna have to step up and fight all these other countries because Israel has literally poked the bear at every step because they have this power complex. They want power to themselves. You know, even if everybody wants to be at peace with them, you know, but it's Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai that's furthering this battle. It's Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai that's, putting this in their minds, all right? Because he works upon the minds of men in their sleep.
Yeah.
All right?
I got something to back you up.
You got it.
This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
You know, and they can't force the course of a river, So if Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai wants you to go a certain way, that's the way you're going to go. All right? If it's going to lead to your destruction, that's how the Most High wants it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yep.
You got anything else?
Keep playing. No, you go.
And by the way, I mean, honestly, this just seems like a robbery to me. Like, we're already providing tens of billions of dollars for Israel's current slaughter campaigns, on top of the $4 billion we were already giving them each year as part of the MOU that was signed in 2016 under the Obama administration. And so Americans are increasingly frustrated that we are bankrolling Israel's atrocities. And so this is a way of, ensuring that the money that's allocated for our military just goes to the Israeli military as well.
Yep. So, guys, what happened is the Israelis got caught, right? And so one of the most effective points against the Israelis has been, why are we paying for all this? So they've now done two different strategies to get around that. So number one is say, oh, no, we're weaning ourselves off. We're not going to ask for aid anymore. Now,
So that's them saying that they're going to quit asking for money because we've been giving them, billions and billions of dollars over, these past, 40 years? Ever since World War II, because of the so-called, H cost, that transpired, even though the history has already spoken out on that. And, brothers have done videos on that, how much of a farce that was. Okay? But, now they're saying that we're going to pull back. Nah, man, we don't want no more money. We good. But, cue this other part and listen closely. Baba Kushai.
It's actually not the full story. Netanyahu, in that same exact statement, said, so we're only going to ask for 10 more years of aid. But that's not weaning yourself up. That's a whole other decade of aid. And by the way, once they get to the...
So they want a whole another 10 years worth of money. So that's taxes coming out of your check, coming out of my check. But, and I'm going to say it like this. There's not going to be any more work, bro. They're about to literally cut off this system at the knees. They don't want you to be a desk nigga no more. They want you to go back to the fields. All right? They want you to go back and mine up that ore that's in the ground, But all this is going to lead, to all this is going to lead to Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai coming back and redeeming the elect and burning this bitch with fire, with the missiles.
Right.
But you got anything?
Here, guess what they're going to say? Oh, situation has changed and we're under attack and we have to do self-defense. You have to give us another 100 years, right? So no, that's an utter lie. And by the way,
not going to stop.
I did not tell you the second part of the sentence. They might have buried it in the 17th paragraph, but the headlines were, Israel doesn't want any more money.
Another 10 years.
which is $40 to $100 billion. Now, the second strategy is this. Oh, we are not taking money anymore. Wait. Instead, we're just going to take your whole military. We're going to do, look at what they're saying, network integration.
They're going to take the whole military. You know why? Because the military, it grosses $800 billion yearly. Okay? And that's for military defense. Even though this is an unwalled village, you know, you don't have anything to protect you, you know. So,
yeah. And if I may, the small hats are known pretty much as having like highly effective. They're good at infiltrating things.
Yep.
Like when the situation in Iran, remember when they blew up the cell phones of the Hezbollah, you know, operators, and then the way they were able to so accurately target, you know what I mean?
During using what's that?
Palantir.
Palantir.
Right, using these surveillance technology giants that are also incorporating AI.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, it's so much. It's so much that like, and you said infiltrate because they infiltrated the Senate, the House of Representatives. That's an infiltration. Whenever that guy was coming out and putting them on blast, saying, "Hey, this dude, he's a dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Dual citizenship. Yeah, they're a citizen of America, but they're citizens of the Israelis, you know, of another country. But you have them in charge of your government, you know, and it's all coming full circle. All right? Anything else? We got a little bit more.
Insane.
That means they're going to embed themselves inside our networks that we can't ever get them out. And by the way, that also means
That's the reason why they want to.
in the old days, they had to bother stealing our nuclear secrets, and that was Robert Maxwell, like Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. They had to bother stealing all of our top secrets. That was Jonathan Pollard. Now they don't have to bother. They're going to get integrated into our network. They're going to take all of our secrets, including AI. So that means whatever dangerous AI program we've got in our military, Israel will have in their military. And then God knows what the Israelis do with that kind of technology. And then if that wasn't enough, data fusion. So all of our data will be fused together so that you can't extract the Israelis from it. So they're coming to get the entire U.S. military expertise, knowledge, systems, weapons, etc. under the guise of, we are not taking money anymore.
Yeah, precept.
Con. Yeah, I got something real quick.
You got it.
This is Ezekiel 21:9, and it says, "Son of man," or sorry, verse 8. It says, "Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, and it is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth?" Right? And essentially, like, we know that that's kind of multifold because you had, what is it, Isaiah 59, where it talks about the Lord created the waster to destroy, right? So, you know, like the movie Oppenheimer goes into the development of the nukes, right? The nuclear technology, all right? But there's even another level now with the AI, because that's a whole nother layer of, you know what I mean, tech on top of the sword. So, like, the point is, Esau is at the peak. Like, this is his apex. This is like the
height.
This is the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why Esau is so bugged out and he thinks that this plan could actually work.
Because he made his own God.
Yep.
You know, and his own God, he's trying to make it to where AI has rule in everything. Whenever he sets up these cameras, he's going to let AI take over. These flock cameras, that's AI. AI is already watching you in your modern day world. All right?
Yeah.
You know, and could you pull that Malachi 1 and 4?
Yep, I got it.
You know, actually, you can start at 3. Actually, you can start at Salakia.
Con, this is Malachi 1:1. It says, "The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?"
And that's where Jake is. Jake doesn't know that Yahweh Shemi Shai has set this whole thing up, just to get you out. It's going to be like an extraction.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to cause all this diversion, for the rest of the world, just so he can pick out his elect. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you got it.
It says, verse 2, it says, "I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob."
See? And he still has that favor upon us, even though we were over here, our great-great-grandfather was out there popping on the handstand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They chose not to follow Yahweh Shemi Shai. They pulled away the shoulder. Now us coming up in these times, we are seeking out Yahweh Shemi Shai and all of his wisdom. Okay? So we can be in the proper mind in this day to come. But you got it.
Yep, this is Malachi 1:3. It says, "And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness."
So he already did that once for us. So to have us shun Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right?
Yeah.
But you got it.
Yep, because mountains in the scriptures represent governments. And we know that the fate of America is for it to basically be made a giant desert.
Yep. So
where the birds, right? The
the
vultures and various
and owls and all.
Yep, like Revelation 18 talks about that. You want to read verse 4?
Yeah, Malachi.
Malachi 1:4, it says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, saith the Lord of hosts."
And that right there is what they're trying to do with this AI. They're trying to build up the desolate places.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're trying to set up another reign, but this is going to be a even longer reign than the one before. They want to reign like Rome. Rome was like 1,000 some odd years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but Yahweh Shemi Shai has given them 250 years now. All right, so he gave them a quarter of what Rome had. All right,
mm-hmm.
But the Most High is about to take him down speedily, for the elect's sake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but finish that out, Bible shots.
It says, Malachi 1:4, halfway through the verse, it says, "They shall build, but I will throw down.
See,
they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever."
And that's because he set up everything that was against Yahweh Shemi Shai. He has been at variance with the ways of Yahweh Shemi Shai this whole time, because the Most High gave the birthright to Jacob. All right, but I'll finish out this video.
You know how many major media outlets have covered this? As far as I can tell, zero. Because they don't find it controversial. They're like, Israelis taking over our military? Well, of course, only anti-Semites would disagree with that. And in Congress, look, guys, this can't pass. This has got to, we have to make some sort of stand on this. It can't pass. But at the same time,
if I may, when he says stand, really what he's going into is the sedition that the scriptures speak of, right? Because all this being, the fact that it's being made so obvious, like the small hats basically ruling, it's like they want this civil war. This is part of that's part of the script too. Like these Edomites, some of these Edomites that got left out. You know what I'm saying? They mad.
Left out the blessing.
You know what I'm saying? They mad, man. It's gonna cause a war. It's gonna be it's a war on so many levels. Like not even just Esau and Esau, but just this war
in general.
And that's the spirit of the Lord.
Yeah, because he said that this can't happen. Nah, this is going to happen. This has to happen. Okay, we want it to happen. Because it's a war that's going to be infused for us getting from us getting out of here. All right, we're trying to get out of here. We're praying to Yahweh Shemi Shai to forgive us of our transgressions and to allow us to be back act one with him, and let these other nations catch that L.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's just a little bit more.
Okay.
Guys, you want to know the only two people in Congress that are publicly objecting right now? You'll never guess. Ro Khanna, Tom Massie.
Okay, I need to understand where.
I think that was the point. So I like it.
No,
But just going, they still believe in this system. They still believe that this system is going to save them out of this hell that's coming. All right, but here at GMS, all right, Great Millstone, we understand and know that it's Yahweh Shemi Shai that's going to save the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 out of all this hell to come. Okay.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to?
No.
Okay. But with all this, Bakusha, could you pull that Isaiah chapter 40, start at the top? Just to hit this, because the Most High has set up the prophets. He set up His holy ones, all right, to come out here and do this work.
There's a specific verse you wanted up.
It's going to be 1 and 2. So Isaiah chapter 40, verse 1.
Mm-hmm. It's Isaiah 40 and 1. It says, comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins.
Because Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to pardon us from this next influx, or this World War III, and all this hell, that's going to come upon the earth. All right, He's going to deliver the elect. All right. I don't know if it was. Check out Isaiah 52 and 9.
Isaiah, break forth into joy, sing together.
Come on.
This is Isaiah 52 and 9. It says, break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem. For the Lord hath comforted his people, he hath redeemed Jerusalem.
Yeah. Read 10.
It says, verse 10, the Lord hath made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God.
So Yahweh Shemi Shai is about to show the nations, the who He has favor on. He's about to go in just to grab the elect, which is 144,000, and the 1/3 of you so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans of Negro descent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If I may, on verse 10, where it says, the Lord hath made bare his holy arm in the eyes of the nations, the Lord has done, like when you read the scriptures, right, the things of aforetime were written for our learning, you'll read miraculous accounts of the Lord delivering individuals, but the last time he did it on a mass scale was at the Exodus.
Yep.
The Exodus. I mean, obviously, you had things that happened when Yahweh was on the scene, and things that weren't even written about, right? But like it says in that one scripture, it says, there shall no more be remembered, or a second time, right? Going into basically, we're not going to talk about the former Egypt or Exodus, but this one that we're living right now, in America.
I think it's in Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's in Jeremiah. I want to say it might be 3. But let me see if I can find it real quick.
He comes a while.
This is
It be no more said the Exodus from Egypt, but the Exodus from the land of the north. Loosely paraphrased. Just type in land of the north. Pop up.
Nah, my laptop just slow. Kind of. This may be it. I don't know. My laptop is slow, bro.
Yeah, we gotta flush it out, brother.
All right, we keep going.
All right, kind of. But yeah, so the land of the north is over here in North America. All right, and Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is gonna redeem His people. You know, those ones that stood stiffly. All right, so you know, just wanted to put that on wax. You know, and for bros to realize, man, and understand, this is not your friend. This is your enemy. Your enemy is setting up holy hell for you to come during these next couple days, weeks, months. All right, because I don't think we're gonna be here for years. You know, but that's just me speaking as a man. All right, so hey, the water for listening, those that chimed in. All right, and I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom.